What's up? So I was just walking in the forest and I felt like I want to talk about the Buddhist teaching of no self because I feel like it's something super simple, super self apparent, but there's just so much confusion around it, so many concepts, you know, so many people who try to make this into some complicated thing, you know, how to get rid of your ego or like you don't exist, here's why. I'm not gonna tell you any of that. Like, I'm not here to prove your non-existence when you're watching this video clearly, right? I'm just here to point, I'm here to explore with you, let us both take a look at our experience and see what the no self teaching points to, right? What it's trying to say. So if we look at our experience, right, we have these, it's made up of many things, sensations, you have sights, sounds, smells, and you're aware of thoughts, related to those sound, sights, and smells. But all of these things, right, they just come and go, right? Sensations, you can't really control. Like, you can't just choose to not hear, right? Or like not see. It's kind of happening by itself. Yeah, sure, you can close your eyes or whatever, but then you see the back of your eyelids. You don't really not see, right? Even when you're unconscious or sleeping, you're just not conscious of seeing. That doesn't mean, you're not seeing by choice. So what I'm saying is you don't have any control over your senses, truly. So these aren't being run by any self. Like, let's elaborate. By self, I mean like some sort of controller, some sort of center to your being, some sort of like permanent entity, energy, whatever, that sort of controls your experience, right? So we gone over sensations right now. See, you don't have any control over those, they just happen. However, the conditions that arise are, let's look at let's look at our thoughts. I mean, our bodies, I guess. Our bodies, they age. We can affect how they age. We can't grow taller. We can't change our voices. We can't beat our heart. It's just beating. We can't grow our nails, grow our hair. So, like, our bodies, they're not controlled by some sort of center. They're processes. They're not a self either. There's no one behind controlling the body. The body is a self-sustaining process. It changes. It's not even permanent. So that can't be a self. Okay. Then we look at our perceptions, right? Our perception. So how we see certain things. Let's say there's a block of cheese, and to me, that block of cheese might be bad. To you, it might be tasty. Um, that's not something we chose if it's good or bad. That's based on our experience, based on our conditioning, right? So we didn't choose that either. So our perceptions, they're not coming from any center. They're just conditioned into the body, into the mind, whatever. Let's go thoughts. Thoughts, they sort of just appear, right? Due to conditions again. Like, if you look at them, they kind of appear out of nowhere, right? Even when you choose to think, that choice kind of appeared out of nowhere, didn't it? Like, just pay attention to this. Even when you move a certain way and it feels like you're controlling it, right? Did you choose in what way you're gonna control it, right? So, like, all I'm saying is the wind doesn't choose to blow, right? The river doesn't choose to flow. The river's not saying I'm flowing. And thoughts, they don't choose to be thought. They just arise due to conditions, due to seeing. You see something, you perceive it a certain way, a certain thought arises, but then the mind lays claim to them. It's like, I thought this, I'm thinking, right? The thinker, the self, the walker, the listener, the seer, it's just an assumption. It's a projection we basically project onto our experience. But if you just look at your own experience. You don't find the mind, you don't find the thinker, you don't find the controller, you just find the experience. It's just happening, right? There's no one behind it. Words are speaking for themselves, thoughts are being thought for themselves. The walking is happening, the breathing is happening, the beating of the heart is happening. All of these things are happening seemingly by themselves. You have to assume a self. This whole idea of a self, of a me, comes from this projection on the experience that it has to be experienced by someone. But if you look deeper, if you look at, for example, pain, the knowing of pain, the awareness of pain, the seeing of pain, whatever, is the pain itself, right? It's like, what is pain? Pain is the knowing of pain. The feeling of pain, that is pain. So the knowing of pain is pain, right? It's not separate from the knowing. So we assume there's a knower when there's just knowing. There's just the knowing of experience, you know? So, yeah, I'm trying to point to, if you look at your experience, it's really self apparent that it's just happening. Just like the river flows by itself, just like the wind blows by itself, the tree grows by itself, like everything in nature happens by itself spontaneously due to conditions. Your thoughts are conditioned, your moves are conditioned, your thought patterns, your ideas, your preferences, everything that arises in your experience is conditioned. And if you look directly at your experience, there is no self controlling your experience. It is just happening by itself, to itself, for its own sake, due to conditions, not due to a self. So it's not something complicated. It's just, if you look, you see. If you look for long enough, you see. You didn't decide. I didn't decide to speak this. It arose in my mind and I spoke it. I just said it. I didn't choose to say it. There was no one choosing to say it. It came from seeing. It came from, when you see something, it causes thoughts. And when I saw that people were getting confused about this, it caused me to speak about it. Nothing else. No one chose it, not laying claim to anything I'm saying. It just arose and that's why I said it. So I hope I could clear up some misunderstandings. Some people might have gotten something from this. Maybe it was like bugging them, what this no self thing's all about, what this no ego is all about. So like, don't be scared. You won't lose anything. You never had it in the first place. It was always this. It was always happening like this. There was never a self controlling it. You just assumed it. Not even you. Who is the you that assumes, right? It's not even that you assumed it. There was just an assumption due to conditions. What are the conditions? Societal conditioning, culture, human history. Also, because, like, it seems logical, right? Experience must be happening to someone. So we assume, oh, it's happening to this body. We assume a mind, We see thoughts. We assume they must be thought in a mind. There must be someone thinking them. We assume this duality where we perceive none. You don't perceive a thinker. You just think. There's just thoughts. There's no thinker found in experience itself. So don't trust ideas. Don't trust your assumptions. Check them for yourself and just look at the experience. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.